Ich bin Moritz Zumbuhl from the Schweiz. I'm Moritz from Switzerland. So Blindflug started as a spin-off of my first company of Feinheit. We started Feinheit 10 years ago or 9 years ago. It's a digital agency. We're around 25 people, and we worked a lot for NGOs and political organizations, and we started making games there. And at one day we were just fed up with doing client work and service work for clients, and so we started thinking about doing our own game studio, our own work, and we learned a lot by making games for NGOs and political organizations. So we said in one way we want to continue that, and but still we want to make our own games. So we thought, okay, about what could we make games and why we should make games, and I like to do things because of a reason, and I don't know things with a purpose. So we said, okay, let's try to make games about topics that we think they are important and interesting. And the first topic we have chosen is nuclear war, and we thought that it's very important that our generation still knows that it's very dangerous, that if someone presses the red button, it's maybe over, or it's probably over for civilization. So yeah, we said, let's try and make a game about nuclear war, and so we made First Strike, and to our surprise it was very successful.
So how do you like the indie gaming scene here in India? Like, how do you find it so far?
I like it very much, and I'm very surprised.
Any comments on it?
Oh yeah, I'm very surprised by the quality of all the projects. I didn't realize that you have so many so good game developers. When I was walking around and checking out the projects, I thought, oh, there are so many good ideas, and I really hope that you find a way how to market them, how to get them public recognition in Europe and in the US.
All right, I'll get to the marketing bit in a bit. Talking about your session here, tell us a little bit about it.
So I tried to explain what we did and how we did First Strike and what we learned out of it. I tried to explain how we as an indie, we had no investors and no real support from outside in the beginning, and what we did wrong and what we did right. So I tried to share our learnings, our knowledge.
All right. So tell me one thing. This question was in my mind. I thought you would be the best person to answer it. You see, as a gaming studio, how important is it to focus on developing one game and then making separate sequels for it and developing the storyline of the game, or many genres to be worked on simultaneously?
So I guess that's the 100 billion question. You know, that's not the 1 billion question, it's the 100 billion question. So I'm new to this industry, but I was surprised when I started learning about the industry that they're doing, almost everybody's doing exactly what you said. You know, with these free-to-play games, it gets even to the point where there are no sequels anymore.
Exactly.
If they're just focusing on one IP, on one title, and it's because as soon as they found something that people love and people are willing to spend money, they just squeeze it out as long as they can. And sometimes they even squeeze it too much, so they fuck it up. Like Command & Conquer or something like that, they really did some bad sequels, and I don't think nobody is interested anymore. Or I will be interested, but not that many people will be interested by another version. So they try to do that because if they find something that matches the market demands, they just squeeze it out. But I think it's the problem of, if your strategy as an entrepreneur or as a publisher is to get in short-term money, I mean in 1 or 2 or 3 years, enough money, as much money as possible, you do that. You just focus on one IP. But what I like to do is I like to build it up and I think in a very long timing. I love to think in 10-year or 15-year steps.
Like so
a long-term goal. So my goal, or our goal at Blindflug, is to build several IPs and to keep them controlled by ourselves, by Blindflug. Because I know if we are able to build a brand, the Blindflug brand, we will be able to make much more money if we have more than one IP in our house that works. But you need a lot of time, and you need to be able to kind of survive that phase somehow with investments or with your own money or something like that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a chance. So we are in for the long run, and we are in for trying out new IPs. That's why after the success of First Strike, we didn't continue with First Strike. We continued with Cloud Chasers, but it was a very hard decision, and we also don't know if it was the right decision. We will see, because Cloud Chasers, our second IP, wasn't that successful in the beginning. So it's we are not sure if we took the right direction, but I think in the long term it will work out.
All right. But moving on, you just said like your second game didn't do well initially, but it picked up later on. You see, I believe the fact that if you make a good game, a lot of times good games suffer because the developers, the teams and the studios behind the game, they do not understand how to market their product efficiently, how to promote their product efficiently, even though the game might be good. Usually what happens is if I download a game from the App Store, from the Play Store, if it's good, I will tell that to my friend, hey, are you seeing this game? I'm playing this game, it's awesome. That's how, it's like a word of mouth thing. But I think better promotional strategies are needed. Like, would you care to share some light on that? Like how important they are and how you could do that?
We just had the exact opposite experience. So Blindflug does a game about serious topics and engaging, fun and beautiful games about serious topics. So we don't do serious games, but we do actually real computer games.
Okay.
And the second game, Cloud Chaser, is about migration and about refugees.
All right.
So we really, I went to a press tour over whole Europe in October, and I never expected that we get that much coverage by all the big newspapers, by television stations. So when we released Cloud Chasers, in the first week we had as much media attention as we had with First Strike in 1.5 years. But we sold like a third or a fourth of what we did with First Strike. Right. So marketing is very, very tricky. Even if you manage to get a lot of attention, it doesn't mean that you sell a lot. So it's a tricky thing. So our new approach to market our games was we want to be something that it's interesting for people who don't play that much games to learn about it and maybe try out to be that it could be the first time game for them. But it's very, very hard. So I guess in the end you're right. You just have to make a very good game and then find your niche and find a way to get enough attention, and then it probably will work. But it's very, very hard. Right. And also, you know, there is one other thing, and I talked about that in my presentation. In my session. So this is very, very important. I really advise that to all the developers here in India. Make sure that you have enough energy and you have enough time and enough money to do your marketing. Don't depend on publishers, don't depend on others. Okay. You need to do it. And I suggest that you split your time in half-half, or even in 2/3 for marketing and shouting out that you have a very cool game, and 1/3 only in development. And it's very hard to do that for developers because we love to make games.
To make games, not to
but you have to
them.
speak about your games. You have to go out, and it's very important that you have the energy for that. So when you're done your game, take a rest, wait a month or two, and then start marketing it.
All right. So, Mr. Moritz, before I let you go, you need to send a message for our viewers. They need to know something from you, which they should take back home.
I'm here for learning about the Indian market, and I'm here to learn how I could get our First Strike. So I'm looking for partners, someone who helps us to reach the Indian audience, and I will very happy if someone contacts me, someone who lives here and knows how the market works in India, or someone who wants to partner up with us. It will be very cool.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moritz. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was an honor.
Thank you very much.
Having you here. Let's hope you make better games, more awesome games, and you win more awards later on in the future.
And hopefully a lot of Indians will play our...
trust me. Cool. I'm presuming the fact that everybody outside loved the games at your stall, so
cool.
It's not going to be that far future for us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.